Hey everyone, so this is the final video in this Building a Siege diorama for the LEGO Creator 3-in-1 Medieval Castle set. This build took a total of 6 weeks to construct, including coming up with an alternate build using 3 Creator 3-in-1 Medieval Castle sets. So here we have the Lion Knights led by King Leo laying siege to a castle that belongs to a lord within the Black Falcon faction. So this is just a 360 overview look of the build. Next we'll do a detailed dive and I'll explain everything. So for the first half of this video, we'll first have a look at this castle and the scenes within the castle. We'll then turn towards the port here, which is connected to the castle. And for the second half of the video, we'll then have a look at the siege camp and the scene within the command tent and also the interior space of the king's tent here. And this castle is an alternate build using 3 sets, and I have a separate video just focusing only on the alternate build, which I'll link in the description below. So let's get started. So we'll start here at the front of the castle. So we have archers on the 3 towers here and also along the wall here. And they're just firing shots back at the Lion Knights on the other side. And then this tower here is taking a direct hit from the Trebuchet. So we've got rocks flying in different directions there. And 2 of the archers there managed to dodge the flying rock, but this third one here is not so lucky. And he's about to take a plunge down to the bottom of the tower there. And it's flying off the edge there. So in the middle of the castle here is this tall tower, which is basically the keep of the castle. And then the person standing in front of the keep door is the Lord next to the dog. So that's the Lord and his dog. And then just to show you the Lord here. So he's basically like, you know, an older guy. I gave him the crazy hair and the long beard. And he's like a rough and ready kind of guy. So he's got this big battle axe here as his weapon, and he's got like the special royal looking shoulder pads and like a black cape here. And there's another guy, the second in command, so he's like the captain of the guards or something like that. So I just gave him like the all black look and with a black cape and the special helmet and the black plume. So he's like the second in command, like the captain of the guards or something like that. And there's like another knight here, and then like, you know, just mainly guards and archers. So the archers are mainly like, you know, with the black helmets. There's one at the back there climbing up to resupply the bolts for, you know, the crossbow guy up there. And you know, some of them wear black helmets, some of them wear the black hood and the black cape. So it's just like, you know, give them like the ranger kind of look. And then the normal guards have the silver helmets here, so they're like placed along the sides of the walls and places like that. So behind the keep here is the Lord's residence connected to the keep, and it's the building with the blacksmith underneath here, you know, connected to the water wheel which operates the blacksmith. So like the story that I'm going with here is that the lord of this castle is like his main profession is blacksmithing, and he supplies the weapons and armor for to the Black Falcon faction. And he also like sells these things, these armor and weapon. That's like his main source of income. So that's why there's like the blacksmith shop here, you know, selling the weapons and stuff to traders coming in. And so that's why I gave him like the rough and ready kind of look, because he's like you know, he's a hard-working kind of guy. You know, he makes his own weapons and stuff. But there's like a second bigger blacksmith on the outside here, this underneath this building here, which is like the main blacksmith where the workers are creating like the weapons and stuff. And then at the back here, there's a bullseye that came with the house. So I just added a minifigure here. So this is like a little secret area behind the castle. And this girl here, she's just like, you know, she wants to be one of the rangers, one of the Black Falcon rangers. So she's taking practice shots here. And then here, there's the wall on the side. This is basically the moat here, along the front here, and to the sides here is the moat. And I gave it like a swampy kind of look by using the trans brown tiles and the trans green tiles, just to give it like a muddy water kind of look, and muddy and murky, and with algae here and there sort of dispersed throughout the moat. And then here we have like some vines crawling up and down the walls here, and some kind of viney root structure, just to give it like a really like a swampy kind of look. And then we have like more guards here at the back, so these guys are a little bit further away from the action, so they're just like, you know, just having a laugh here, you know, getting some drinks, having some booze and things like that. And then there's another lookout up here, So there's lookouts on every tower here, just to see, just in case like there's any lion knights sneaking around towards the back. And then here we circle back towards the front of the castle here. Just a little bit of land here with some botanical build here. So now we'll have a look at the insides of the castle. So just to give you an interior look of the castle grounds. So we have some farm animals there on a temporary sort of pen. So like this farmer here, this group of farmer, like the farmer husband and wife and the daughter there, they basically ran away from the invading forces. So they brought their livestock and some of their supplies in here, like that cart full of hay. And yeah, so they're just like, sheltering here away from the invading forces. And then here in the middle here we have like one of the pigs has run away, has managed to escape the temporary pen. So the farmer basically is like chasing it down, basically trying to get back. And it's running down that alleyway there, which leads towards the port. And then here, so this is the alleyway that leads down towards the port. So you can see like the head of the pig there, he's like heading down that way there. Then there's some people there. So that's basically the layout of the castle. And then behind the lord there, next to the keep, is the stables with some horses there. And next to him, where there's two guys there, is the blacksmith, which I'll show you now. So we have the main blacksmith there. So like, there's like a head blacksmith there working on the grinder with the white hair there. And then there's the helper, and he's like, hammering away the sword on the anvil. And then there's like, the water tank there where the red hot blades are basically cooled down in the water. Then we have like, the rack of finished goods there at the back there with the armor pieces and the swords and things like that, next to the farm animals. And then we have like a crate of finished weapons there in front of the anvil there. So this is the roof of the stables. So I went with the dark blue, so that will look like the rest of the roof structures. So then here, if I remove it, so it's just like a basic arch, a half arch structure using the hinge brick for the roof. And then there's like a gutter here for the water, basically. And then down there is the insides of the stables. So there's like a tray of hay there for the horse to eat, and some hay lying around. And then if the lord or the captain of guard or whoever wants to ride the horse, they'll have to take the horse and then down underneath the steps, the stairways here, through that arch and then out, and then to exit the castle. Because like the underside here, this side here of the castle is a little bit full with the blacksmith basically. So you can see here like the head blacksmith there working on the grinder, grinding the sword with the crate of weapons there. Then his helper there working on the anvil and the water tank there thing there. So that pig chasing scene is here behind this wall here. That's the alley, which leads to this archway, which leads to this port here. And this is like basically the commercial hub of the port here, with all the stores, all the trading happening and things like that. So here next to the port we have the 3-in-1 Viking ship set, but I've made some modifications, such as like adding some paddle rack here, having some supplies here and there on the ship, and some farm animals and stuff like that. And also I've changed the sail from the brick built sail that's open to this rolled up cloth piece from the Black Sea's Barracuda set, so that it looks like, because it's in port, so the sail can't be open, right? Then the decking here for the ship, I placed some tiles there to clean up the decking. And then we have this port crane here, which is unloading the goods from the boat here. And it's like a medieval technology thing where it uses like chains and levers, and also it's horse driven. So we have the horse here, that drags the crane using the chain that's attached to the side over here. And then the chain hooks onto this part here, which drags the crane, like, it spins it basically. So it's basically horsepower, horse driven. And then this guy here, he's the crane operator. So he basically turns this lever here, which turns this pivot up here. So like, if you spin it this way, it comes down basically. So let me quickly spin it. So here, this is like the fully down position here. So this is when like the crates can be loaded on or off this hoist here, which is hanging onto this arm. Then when he spins it the other way, it will go back up. So here it is like the fully up position. So now the supply is lifted up, Then it can be spun around by the horse, and you know, it can spin like all the way around, stuff like that. So that's the way, it's a way of getting, you know, goods from here, from the boat onto the dock, basically. So we have this guy here holding the carrot on a stick. So this is the incentive for the horse to move and you know, drag the crane so it spins, basically. And then at the front here, we have this island survivor guy. So he basically lives off the sea, and he's just trying to make a quick buck here by selling some fish to the dock worker here, which he caught using the spear pole here. So he's got like a bunch of fish here, and he's just trying to, you know, hawk off some fish and make ends meet, basically. And the dock worker's got a bit of a confused look on his face. So basically the idea is that this port is like the commercial hub of this castle. It's like all the trading happens here. Like, you know, boats that come here, they can just like, you know, unload and then they do trading straight away. So we have like, you know, a few vendors here and there trying to sell their goods. And then there's some like, you know, supply crates here and there. Sort of they're like the goods waiting to be loaded or just recently unloaded. You know, such as like the log here and like, you know, some crates here of, you know, planks of wood and things like that. And so there's some more supplies and barrels and things like that back there. So I just wanted to like fill up this port and make it look like, you know, full of wares, different wares and different things being traded, and you know, with lots of trading activity happening. And then at the back of the market stalls here, so we have like a lady there preparing some food to be sold. We have this old geezer here who's guarding this crab and fish rack, and there's like a rat there trying to steal some fish. So he's like trying to chase it off. And just to give you a quick look at the ocean here. So like I went with the cheese slopes to make it look like waves. So there's like rows of waves coming in. Like, you know, all throughout there's like rows going on there. And then we have like a play on the depth by using the tan and then the medium azure, the blue and then the black. And also using the two colors of the trans dark blue and the trans light blue. And like there's some trans clear as well, like here and there, like towards the edge. And then as we go in there, that's the swamp, so it turns into dark tan underneath. Right, so in front of the castle here on this side of the land is the siege camp filled with lion knights. So we have like the king's tent here, followed by the command tent, some horses for the king and the general, you know, drinking water from the bucket there. We have the trebuchet with some trebuchet operators here. So he's loading the rocks and he's spinning the trebuchet up and down with this handle here. And it's basically just fired a shot and it's got a direct hit on that tower there. And then next to the trebuchet, there's like some cooking happening here. So there's like a cook here working on like a turkey soup on the stove. And then behind there's like a rotisserie of some drumsticks with a soldier spinning it. And then we have some supplies here, you know, like some pumpkins, some drinks, probably alcoholic, and you know, some bread and things like that. And then we have a group of soldiers here sneaking here at the back behind the tree here, sort of enjoying the supplies and you know, having a good time, whilst everybody else is doing all the hard work back there at the front there. And then behind the tree here we have some forestmen. There's 5 forestmen in total. There's one here, 2 behind the cart, and another one there. So they're looking to rob the supplies from these soldiers, basically. You know, there's some guards here that are preventing trade from going through with some guard dogs there. So they've stopped this wagon here. Then there's like a forestman in disguise up here with the arrow there, ready for some action. And these guys are like, you know, waiting for a good opportunity to strike, basically. So in comparison to the nice looking king's tent there, we have some ragged looking tents and tarps here where the soldiers sleep. So here we have this cloth piece here from the El Dorado fortress set. This one is the wing of the Hungarian horntail dragon set. So I went with these cloth pieces because they look quite ragged, and I think it's quite suitable for the scene. And then they're just basically, you know, hanging from the tree here. And you can see it's like pegged to the tree. And then there's a top-down angle of the guards here stopping this wagon. So I've paved the road here, leading from, you know, somewhere off here towards the front of the castle there, that half bridge there that connects with the drawbridge. So I've paved it with different types of tiles and different colors to make it look like weathered, basically. Like, so it's like stone, cobblestone kind of path. We have a soldier there underneath that top taking a break, but this forestman here with a knife is preparing to do something nasty to that soldier, basically. And then here is just like a continuation of the swampy sort of botanical work here, you know, to look like this side here, so it looks consistent basically. But instead of going with the vines, I went with the bushy look on this side. So this drawbridge connects to this half bridge here. I'll show a demonstration here. Okay, there we go. So basically it connects to this this half bridge here. So like I modified it a little bit, adding these slopes here, so that it, you know, basically when it comes down, it latches onto this half bridge here. So it's like, you know, securely connected basically, using some inverse slopes on the bottom and the 1x4 slope on the top there basically. Then I just tiled off the top of the drawbridge, and also like I think the inverse slopes on the underside makes it look a little bit more heftier. I think this drawbridge gives it a thicker look. So the front lines here in front of the bridge, we have like a barrier basically for the Lion Knights to hide behind. So it's like a temporary makeshift kind of barrier, because the Lion Knights wanted to, you know, like lay down some pressure onto the castle. So like they want to take, like, you know, arrow shots up at the castle guards and also over the walls to create some chaos within the castle grounds, right? So they need something to hide behind basically. Then here we have like a collapsed part here. Down here is like the collapsed part, and then like, you know, that guy's trapped underneath the collapsed part and the knight is helping him. And yeah, so like I designed the barrier to be like, you know, so the height of it is just like showing the helmets and the shields of the knights and the archers basically. And then we have some bannermen here, you know, blowing a tune to boost morale. So this is just like the behind the barrier basically, the scene behind the barrier. So we have some archers taking shots and some sort of, you know, buckling under the pressure, under the heat of battle. So we have this soldier here trying to, you know, shouting at him, telling him to get his act together so that he would, you know, continue firing. And then the top-down view of the barrier here. So we have some more knights on this side here, sort of, you know, giving orders and telling them to keep firing and things like that. And then you can see that the barrier is held up by some bar and clip pieces there, planted to the ground. So it is actually fixed in place here. So I'll show you the insides of the two tents now. So this is the king's tent. So I can remove the cloth piece here by detaching the cloth piece here. So it just like comes out and disconnects here. And then the command tent can also be, so it's just removed like that. So this is the interior of the king's tent. So we have like a full bed here, like a chest of drawers here with some candles and some cups and pots for the king to use. Then we have like a working desk there with, like, you know, the feather pen for him to use, with the armchair there. So it's like a fully decked out kind of tent. You know, it's like a cross between a tent and sort of like a wooden cabin. Basically, that's the look I'm going for. So it's like got the wooden frames and some wooden walls, but with the, you know, the cloth canopy. And then the front there, there's some like brick built like sort of curtains. Right now it's tied and opened. And then at the front of the tent, we have some food for the king here, and also a wine barrel there for the king. And then the tent is directly connected to the command tent here, where like a strategy meeting is happening. So we have the strategy table here with some maps, and we have the king here. So this is King Leo. So it's King Leo's head connected to the Lion Knights Castle Queen's torso, and also the cape from the Lion Knights Castle set. And I added like a special looking shoulder pad for him basically. So the general here, I gave him some special looking armor by adding the shoulder pads. And then I gave him like the red cape, since that's the color of the Lion Knights. And that's basically him. And then in the meeting, there's also the blue mage here. So he's like giving some advice and some strategy. And this is the mage from the Lion Knights Castle set. So he's like the sidekick mage basically to the blue mage. And then we have like, you know, the strategy table there. Then like some weapons rack here. Just like, you know, a weapons rack here. And then next to the tent, we have some King's Guards here. So there's one King's Guard here. So he's got like the special shield and like the cape and the golden sort of helmet. And there's another one at the back there. You can see there, that's the other one. So they're just like, you know, guarding the two sides of the tent. And then working our way around to this side, we have a group of soldiers here underneath this tree. So they're basically making a plan to sneak over to the port side here, across the little bay here, and they try to do a surprise attack basically. So this soldier here drew the short straw, and he's the first to go, but unfortunately he got ambushed by that croc that was hiding in the moat there. And then here we have the knight who's leading this assault, and we have like a few more soldiers here, like, so you know, they want to see what's happening. And the next one to go here is this guy, so he's not too happy about it. This other guy here is like, you know, giving him the spear and telling him that you're next basically. So whether this siege will be successful or not is anybody's guess, because, you know, obviously laying siege to a castle that has a port and is currently being supplied by a boat isn't really like the smartest thing to do. But I don't know, maybe the Lion Knights will succeed, since they're laying down the pressure here with the Trebuchet firing away, and the archers, you know, trying to create havoc and chaos on the other side. So maybe the Black Falcons might buckle under the pressure, who knows. And then the last thing to talk about is the border here. So I went with the stud pin border, like I did a stud pin thing, because it's like Technic bricks underneath here, and you know, to do stud pins with the stud on the side kind of design. So I went with the rocky sort of bedrock on this side here, where the, you know, this land side, and then as we progress towards the water, it just becomes like a more like flat and simple design. Like, you know, I just stuck to the one tone because I didn't want it to look too like complicated and, you know, distract away from the you know, the look of the rest of the diorama basically. So, you know, just going with a clean and simple look of the light gray. And then as we go around the border here, it gradually transitions back to the rock basically here once it reaches this side of the land again, like so. So I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough video of the build. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and leave any comments below about things you liked or didn't like, or any comments or suggestions you have about the build. So make sure you subscribe, because I'll be doing more MOCs and dioramas of different themes such as Star Wars, pirates, castles and things like that. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.